Because at one point I might be 80%, you 20%. You
Right.
might be 20%, I'm 80%.
You're not looking for nothing about it.
No. I think I was maybe about a year ago. I heard somebody say, in order to be like truly like to look at a relationship for real, and to be successful in a relationship, at all times, you should basically be like, yo, as long as you're trying to please the other person and the other person's trying to please you, you don't even have time to think about what the hell you ain't getting. You don't, because your worry is about making them happy.
So, a little thing that you said in there was 1 minute, this person might be 20%, the next this person might be 20, you just kind of flop back and forth between the 80-20.
Or
What
50,
are
50, 60, 40.
right, whatever that relationship's breakdown of, handling responsibilities are. Let's talk a little bit about the roller coaster that entrepreneurs have to go on financially, because there's seasons for everything.
Yeah.
Literally, I think photography is probably the only thing that is always in season. Now everybody always wants to let's take Christmas pictures. Oh, let's have a New Year's Eve party.
That's not everybody.
Well, yeah.
We would always want to take a photo. I was at the camera. I was like, camera. Yeah.
But so let's talk about the roller coaster with some months, might be great months.
Mm-hmm.
Some months, you just like, what in the hell happened? I was just up here, had surpassed my goal, and now I'm 2 times under my goal.
Yeah.
So how do you feel that could affect a relationship if the person that you're in a relationship with doesn't understand entrepreneurship or hustle, or even investments in stocks? Because it's the same way with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. Or and guys behind the camera, y'all feel free to jump in.
I honestly, the way I feel is like the perfect relationship is, and I say perfect in the sense of from a financial perspective, from a regular entrepreneur, from a regular middle class worker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is one person has a 9 to 5, other person is the hustler, right? Because you balance each other out. Because there have been months where I've made $60,000. There have been months where I made 5 or 10, right? And so I think if you communicate that and you have a person that understands that, yo, I'm here to support you regardless,
Mm-hmm.
and we're here to support each other, it doesn't matter about everything else. But if you have a person that enters into a relationship that thinks, yo, you gotta pay for this, I gotta pay for this, then your shit ain't gonna work. That works for some people, I ain't gonna lie, it does work for some people,
right.
But for me personally, let's talk from a marriage perspective,
Mm-hmm.
right? The way I feel about marriage is the whole point of getting married is it's a sacrifice. You give up your life to support somebody else's.
Uh-huh.
And so for me, what that means is we're joining our lives together. And so whether you're up one day, whether I'm up one day, somebody's gonna be down and somebody has to support the other.
Right.
And so from an entrepreneurial, from a self-employment, from any of that type of perspective, if you're not with a person that doesn't understand that the hustle is not always great, then your shit's gonna suffer. Because I think there's a part about a person understanding that, one. Then the most important thing is that person gonna support you through that.
Right.
Because what a lot of people tend to do is say, well, you're not bringing any money. Yo, but I was bringing in $20,000 last week or last month when you was trying to spend all this shit. Or you wanted to go shopping on the big paycheck, but now, hey, you know what I'm saying? You got to cover the mortgage this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's a real thing, though.
Right, it is.
That's a super real thing. Hell, I dealt with it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been blessed enough to where I've never really, in private practice, I've never had a really bad time, especially once it got, after a year or 2 in. But it's still, just because you make a certain amount 1 month doesn't mean you're going to make that the next month.
Right.
And if you don't have anybody that understands that and is going to support you and your business,
Mm-hmm.
if they're not invested in you and your business, then shit, that ain't going to work.
Right.
I remember, even personally, I remember just I had an ex that was like, yo, that's your business. I'm like, yo, that's like, you don't understand, like, this is not just my business. Like, I do this shit because this is for us. You know, and so if you don't have that buy-in to your business from that other person, then they're never going to support your shit.
Right.
And so it's going to always be some discord.
Right.
You know, it's going to always be like, oh, you're not bringing in anything. Oh, what are you bringing in? There's going to always be that conversation. But I think the equal balance comes in where you communicate with each other and you actually understand that, hey, yo, this 9 to 5 is the shit that supports us.
Right.
But this entrepreneurship, this is the shit that's going to retire us. You know what I'm saying? Because from a financial perspective,
I like that.
as black people, the real truth is we should live off the smallest amount of money that we make as a couple. The big shit is the shit we should be saving and investing. We don't do that shit. We like to go, oh, I got a big fat check. Let's go buy some shit. Right? And so when that shit doesn't come in, that's like, well, why you not doing this? Why you not doing this? But, you know, that's people that don't have, and I think that just comes from a financial perspective too.
Right.
It's a financial planning, it's an understanding, it's a miseducation. Shit, I think that's honestly where it's bred at. You know, if you're not with a person that's yoked with you in that situation where like you can actually communicate, or if you're really smart about it, we talk about this shit before it even happens.
Absolutely.
You know, like, baby, look, you know I do this, I'm self-employed, we're gonna get married, ain't gonna be rich all the time. You know, it's just what it is. I might get sued and go bankrupt. That shit happens.
Right.
So if you're ultimately not with a person that understands that shit, but more importantly, a person that's like literally fucking down for you, then entrepreneurship and a regular person just doesn't work. That's with anything. That doesn't work. Like, I think you just have to have a person that's really down for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, as a 9 to 5, I'd say you first have to understand the definition of a hustler.
Oh yeah.
Because you have many people who just talk. And they say that. And with me being who I am, as a 9 to 5, if you tell me you want to do something, it's my job to push you. Let's see if you're really about it.
Yeah.
Let's see if you're going to produce it. I'm going to get behind you 100%.
Or behind the camera.
Or behind the camera.
But that makes you a good partner though.
And that's what I'm saying. That's a 9
Yeah.
to 5. You know, I have to see that, but I have to see them because a lot of us men just be talking. A lot of us men be, man, I want to work on cars, and be like, and she'll support them to try to get him to do it. Why you always stressing me about that? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, you got to understand who you're dealing with first off.
Yeah. I think that's honestly, but I think for me personally, just as a man, and at this point in my life, like I can't be with the person that doesn't push me. Mind you,
Right.
I'm gonna always push myself,
Yep.
right? But there are times where I'm like,
Yep.
I don't want to do this shit.
I don't want to do it.
I think you always need somebody speaking life into your life.
Right.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Because you can't always resuscitate yourself.
Yep.
But I mean, that comes from a romantic relationship. You know, the homeboys you hang out with. I don't hang out with deadbeat niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they don't make me better, if I don't make them better, then why the hell we together?
Why we together?
You know what I'm saying? I
Iron
can't-
sharpen iron.
Nah, exactly. Ain't nobody trying to be with no rusty ass niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like I don't want no rusty woman.
Like I tell people that come to the show, eagles and chickens ain't got shit in common.
No, eagles eat chickens.
If you want woman, if your woman want to know what kind of man she got, look who he surround himself with.
Yeah.
Once you understand his circle,
Yeah.
if they talking about a hoe and they doing a hoe, okay, good.
Yeah.
But if it's a bunch of chickens and they ain't doing that, it's a dressed up eagle, homie. You're a chicken up under that costume.
Yeah. Foghorn Leghorn.
Okay, I got another question. I'm gonna make it tough on y'all once again. This is the both of y'all.
Okay.
So with y'all being entrepreneurs, I just asked about y'all love languages and how y'all mates can feed into y'all. So as a fellow 9 to 5 myself, how do you feed into a mate that's a 9 to 5 in your eyes?
Well, so in a relationship, not only should you know what your love language is, but you definitely have to know what your partner's love language is. And with that, I feel that people knowing love languages, they don't really understand that, okay, so like I said, mine is words of affirmation. Just because that's mine, I can't expect for that to be his love language. That's not how knowing each other's love language works. You don't expect the other person to conform to what yours is. You have to know what theirs is and be willing to show love in the language that they understand. So if the voice spoke French and I spoke Yoruba, he needs to learn how to speak Yoruba to me, and I need to learn how to speak French to him. I can't speak Yoruba to him expecting him to get or understand that I'm showing him that I love him, if that makes sense. So really just in the time that we have allocated to spend together, or whatever time that we do end up, making sure that I remove insecurities and replace it with reassurance by showing as much love in his language that I can during those moments.
And the beauty of it is,
That's kind of deep.
the beauty of it is,
Thank you.
outside people can't understand our communication.
Absolutely.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I asked the question.
I don't think I can't answer it any better. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think you just gotta really just be like,
Work on it. It's work.
you do, it is work. And I think you can't truly say you love a person if you're not willing to try to learn,